There was a village, small and quiet, nestled between green hills and a winding river. The kind of place where time moved slowly, where neighbors knew each other by name, and where the sound of the wind through the trees was often louder than any human voice. In this village lived an old man named Samuel. Samuel was a carpenter. His hands were gnarled and weathered, his back slightly bent from years of labor, but his eyes were kind and his voice was soft. He worked slowly now, carefully, as if each piece of wood he touched deserved respect. Most mornings you could find him near the stone bridge at the edge of the village, the bridge that crossed the river and led to the fields beyond. It was an old bridge built long ago, and Samuel had been the one to build it. He had also been the one to repair it over and over, year after year. The villagers respected him. They greeted him warmly. They thanked him for his work. But not everyone saw value in what he did. There was a young man in the village named Daniel. Daniel was strong, quick, and full of ambition. He had modern ideas. He wanted progress. He wanted speed. He had no patience for old ways or old men who moved too slowly. One morning, as Samuel knelt by the bridge, replacing a few worn stones with steady hands, Daniel walked past with a group of friends. He saw the old man working and laughed. "Still fixing that old bridge, Samuel?" Daniel called out. "Why don't you just tear it down and build a new one? Or better yet, let someone younger do it. Someone faster." His friends chuckled. Samuel didn't look up. He continued his work, his hands moving gently over the stone. Daniel shook his head. "Old man, the world is moving forward. You're stuck in the past." And with that, he walked away laughing. Samuel paused for a moment. He looked at the bridge beneath his hands, the bridge he had built with his own strength, stone by stone, so many years ago. He didn't feel anger, just a quiet sadness, because he knew something Daniel did not yet understand. The days passed. Summer turned to autumn. The air grew cooler. The skies darkened more often. And then one evening, the storm came. It arrived suddenly, black clouds rolling over the hills, thunder shaking the ground, rain pouring down in sheets so thick you could barely see. The river began to rise, fast, too fast. Water rushed over the banks, flooding the low fields, sweeping away anything in its path. The villagers hurried to their homes, shutting doors and windows against the wind. But Daniel had been out in the fields when the storm hit. He had been walking near the river when the water surged. Now he was trapped. The current was too strong. The path back to the village was gone, swallowed by the flood. He stood on a narrow strip of high ground, soaking wet, shivering, his heart pounding with fear. And then he saw it, the stone bridge, still standing, steady, unmoved by the raging water. Samuel had seen the storm coming. He had gone to the bridge, as he always did when the weather turned dangerous, to check its strength. And now through the rain and darkness, he saw a figure, someone stranded, someone afraid. It was Daniel. Without hesitation, Samuel stepped onto the bridge. The water roared beneath him, but the stones held firm. He called out, "Daniel, come this way. The bridge is safe." Daniel hesitated. His pride still whispered in his ear, but his fear was louder now. He stumbled forward, step by step, until he reached the bridge. Samuel reached out his hand. Daniel took it. Together they crossed the old stone bridge, slowly, carefully, one step at a time, until they reached the safety of the village. When they stood on solid ground again, soaked and breathless, Daniel looked back at the bridge. It stood strong, unshaken, built to last. He turned to Samuel, shame burning in his chest. "I'm sorry," he said quietly. "I mocked you. I said you were slow. I said your work didn't matter. Samuel looked at him with kind, tired eyes. "The bridge didn't care what you said," he replied gently. "It just stood. That's what good work does. It doesn't need applause, it just serves." Daniel's throat tightened. "But why?" he asked. "Why did you come for me, after the way I treated you?" Samuel smiled faintly. "Because the bridge wasn't built for pride, Daniel. It was built for people, for anyone who needs to cross. That includes you." From that day on, Daniel saw the world differently. He no longer rushed past the old carpenter with dismissive laughter. Instead, he stopped. He asked questions. He learned. He began to understand that patience was not weakness, that slow work could be strong work, that wisdom often moved quietly without needing to prove itself. And Samuel, he continued his work as he always had, repairing the bridge, tending to the wooden stone, moving slowly but with purpose, because he knew something the young often forget. The loudest voices are not always the wisest. The fastest hands are not always the steadiest. And the work that lasts is never built in haste. It is built with care, with patience, and with love. The lesson. In life, we are quick to judge those who move slowly. We dismiss the old ways. We chase speed and call it progress. But some things cannot be rushed. Trust takes time to build. Wisdom takes years to earn. And the bridges that carry us through life's storms are not built overnight. They are built stone by hands that understand the value of patience. Don't mock the slow worker. Don't dismiss the quiet builder. Because one day when the storm comes, you may need the very thing they spent a lifetime creating. And when you do, it will be there. Strong, steady, waiting.